The 3 topics we will be covering in this module include scheduling, test administration, and additional resources. Scheduling ensures students have sufficient time and resources to complete the assessment. Administration ensures equitable access for all students. During testing, students may not access any materials not explicitly identified on the Content Area Specific Accessibility Supports list that is found in the Oregon Accessibility Manual. For example, students may not access materials such as class notes, electronic translation devices, or cell phones during testing. When pausing a test to resume later, please allow students to finish responding to the items presented on the screen if possible before the test is paused. If the student pauses the test for less than 20 minutes, they will be able to review or change questions already completed when they resume the test. If the student pauses the test for more than 20 minutes, they will not be able to return to the previously completed items for review when they log back into the test. It is important to note that if a student pauses a test for more than 20 minutes while working in a cluster task item and they do not complete it before pausing, they will be allowed to continue working through the task when they resume taking the test, because this item has not yet been completed. For more information on test administration, consult the sections of the TAM referenced at the bottom of the slide. TAM Section 7.3, Testing over multiple sessions or days, TAM Section 2.4, Secure handling of printed test materials and notepaper, and TAM Section 6.4, Pause rules and test expirations. Scratch paper. Scratch paper is a non-embedded universal tool available to all students. Please note that scratch paper may be retained and securely stored for the science test so that students may access their notes for science cluster tasks still in progress. To retain scratch paper, TAs must direct students to write their names or some other appropriate identifying information on the scratch paper and then collect and inventory the scratch paper at the end of each test session. Retained scratch paper must be kept in a securely locked room or cabinet that can only be opened by authorized staff. Upon completion of the test, scratch paper must be securely destroyed. Resources to adequately prepare both teachers and students. Sample tests. The science assessment sample tests are available at osasportal.org. Sample test items provide examples of the types of test items students will see at each grade band in the 2019-20 Oregon Science Assessment and should be used to help students become more familiar with the format of the test. The sample tests also allow an opportunity for TAs and students to try out accessibility supports before using them on the actual Oregon Science Assessment. In addition to sample tests, the OSAS portal also includes links to the calculators students will encounter in the science assessment. NGSS Sample Cluster Task Item. It is very important that students have time to practice with the cluster task item types. Before testing begins, point out the grouping of information on the left-hand side of the screen and the questions on the right-hand side of the screen. Some items may contain simulation interactions. Students should practice with simulation items in the sample test to familiarize themselves with some of the technical aspects of simulations and become more comfortable manipulating the simulations prior to sitting down to take the live assessment. Please remember that sample tests should never be used to evaluate student academic performance. Oregon Science Assessment Test Documents. Links to the test blueprint summary and item specifications are provided at the end of this PowerPoint. Teachers should spend time looking at these materials to help inform their instruction as they prepare students to be successful on the assessments. Q&A discussion. This is an optional point in the required training to pause and discuss the questions provided or a locally developed set of relevant questions. If you would like to pause, please pause now. Online resources include the Test Administration Manual, the Oregon Accessibility Manual, the OSAS portal, which contains sample tests, the OSAS Science Blueprint Summary, and item specifications. This concludes the Oregon Statewide Assessment System Science Summative Assessment Required Training for DTCs, STCs, and Science TAs. Thank you for watching.